Hi everybody. So I want you to just get into a seated position and get comfortable. You can sit cross-legged or lie down. Maybe if it's more comfortable for you, we're going to go through a little bit of a breathing practice and then we're going to go into more of a stretch. So find whatever position you are comfortable in and get seated. Just sitting up nice and tall. If you're lying down, just get into a position that feels good for you. And let's just close the eyes just to allow us to bring that focus into the body and onto the breath. We'll start to take a few deeper, more intentional breaths. So breathing in through the nose and sighing out the mouth. Same again, in the nose and out the mouth. One more like that. I want you to place one hand onto your stomach and then the other one onto your chest. We're going to carry on breathing nice and deeply. We'll do all of this nasally, so all through the nose from now on. So nice deep breath in and out. And I want you to start to focus on how that feels in your body. So noticing how your chest rises and falls. Then bringing your focus onto your stomach or your belly. And make sure that you're breathing in nice and deeply so that you can feel your hand lifting and falling with every inhale and exhale. And if you can't feel it, I want you to just start, even if you're using that bottom hand, the hand that's on your belly, to kind of push into your stomach. What we're doing here is bringing our breath all the way down into our diaphragm. And as our diaphragm at the bottom of our ribs there, as it moves up and down, obviously it is going to be moving our stomach as well. So most of us, when we are feeling stressed or anxious, our breathing will be very short and shallow. We'll only be breathing into kind of the top half of our torso, so into just our throats, not breathing into our lungs, and definitely not breathing into our bellies. So spending a bit of time focusing on breathing all the way down to the stomach is a great way either to just calm yourself down if you are feeling that way, just slowing down the breath, but it's also just really good for your body to deliver more oxygen. So just let the breath return to normal now. You can do this at any point in the day, just placing a hand onto the body and just noticing how deeply you're breathing. If you're breathing into the throat, into the chest, you're filling up the lungs, filling up the belly, and just being a little bit more intentional about where you're directing that breath. So when you're ready now, you can just blink the eyes open. I want you to get into a kneeling position. And we're going to just wrap the arms around us like you're giving yourself a hug. And we're going to tuck the chin down. And all I want you to do is lean slightly forward, so we're rounding the back. And we're going to move from the left into a circle. So we'll start going this direction. And then changing over direction. Then release your arms, bring the other one on top. Again, crossing them over, making circles the one way. Focusing on that breathing. And then changing direction. Good. Okay, just release the arms, just give them a little shake out here. Bringing your fingers together, interlacing them, pushing them away from you. Again, dropping the chin to the chest. I want you to round in between the shoulder blades and push away from you. And then reach up towards the ceiling, lean back slightly. And release and drop the arms down. So while we're still in this position now, we're going to go into our little frog stretch. So open the knees out nice and wide, bring the feet out to the side, drop down onto your elbows or your hands, whatever feels good for you. And then we're just going to gently rock backwards and forwards, working into the hips here. And then settling in a position where you can feel that stretch nice and deeply. This can be quite intense, so keep breathing. Today we are just doing a small amount of poses, but we're going to hold into them for about a minute each. Okay, and then slowly walking the hands up and coming back into a seated position. So we're going to go into another hip stretch here. This one again can be quite intense, as with any hip stretches. So how this is going to work, let's start with the left leg. So the left leg is going to go at the bottom. You're going to bend it and kind of bring your foot so that it's in line. I want to say in line with your hip, but it doesn't really matter if it's not in line, just somewhere to the side there. And then the right leg is going to stack on top of it. Okay, so this might be as far as you can go, and that's absolutely fine. You might be able to get it a bit further back. Okay, so both of our feet are pointing off to the sides, and our knees are stacked kind of on top of each other. Right, start by sitting up nice and tall. So our right leg's on top now. You're going to feel it a lot in that right glute, but you're also going to feel it in the outside of your left hip. So sitting up nice and tall, breathing deeply. You can lean into it a bit if you want. Just play around with, what feels best for you. It can get quite intense, like I said. Just breathing deeply into any discomfort. And obviously, if it gets too much, just straighten your legs out and cross them. I'm going to be here for another 20 seconds or so. Okay, and untuck them, bring both legs out in front of you, just give them a little pat out. You're going to do the same on the other side. So right leg is going to start at the bottom, left leg is going to stack somewhere on top. Okay, adjusting. Okay, both hands onto the feet, start by sitting up nice and tall. Same like the other side. If it feels good to lean into it, lean into it. Or straighten up, or you can move between the two like I'm doing. Ten. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Untuck there. I'm going to come into a child's pose. So let's have the knees quite wide apart, arms straight out overhead. Okay, to begin with. I'm going to spend about 30 seconds here, and then we're going to move into a couple of variations of a child's pose. So imagine that you're pushing your armpits down towards the floor. the bum down onto the heels. Good. Then we're going to bring our right arm and we're going to bring it underneath the left arm. So like a thread the needle, but we're not going to move out of this position. So you're going to stay lying down. The left arm is straight up overhead. The right arm is out to the side. And then changing over, extending the right arm, feeding the left arm through, dropping the head back down. And release, coming back through center. You're going to bend at the elbows, placing both hands either into a prayer position above the head, or if it feels okay for you, fingers onto the back of your shoulders. Again, drop the head down to the mat. And slowly come out of that. Make your way into a lying position. So lie down flat, hands next to the shoulders, and just push up from the ground into a cobra. Drop the shoulders away from the ears, look forward. Look over the right shoulder, and then the left. And then push back into your seated position. And that is us done. Well done.